All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm very appreciative of your time. I think we will begin soon. I want to just let everybody know that I have recorded this meeting, so other people that are not able to attend tonight can watch it later. And if you could all mute your lines, unless you want to say something, but you can also put it in the chat, which my wonderful community member, Sanine, is monitoring. So feel free to chime in at any time, but we'll get started with our pep rally for Neponset Valley tonight. And my name is Astrid Hendren. I have not met that many of you, but I'm the manager for the Neponset Valley Walk. This is my first full cycle. I did not get to attend the walk last year, but I'm very happy to be here this year to welcome all of you back to the family, to the local family. So let's just get started with thanking our local sponsors. I'm going to go to the next slide, and I hope all of you can see this. There we go. I want to thank our local sponsors in the Neponset Valley. Our gold sponsor, of course, LCB Senior Living, our silver sponsors, Brightview Senior Living, Norwood Hospital, Office Gallery, and Tufts Health Plan, and our bronze sponsors, Care One at Randolph, CSNR Quality Home, Dedham Savings, Enclave of Franklin, Hebrew Senior Life, Hellenic Nursing and Rehabilitation, Keefe Insurance Agency, Motion for Memory, and South Coast Behavioral Health. Without them, we just couldn't make this event as wonderful as it is, and their support and your support as the walkers are really crucial to our mission. Of course, our national presenting sponsors, Edward Jones and CVS Health, have really stepped up across the nation to partner with us to raise funds to work towards our mission as well. We'd also like to thank our national teams who've done the same kind of work, both locally and nationally, and in particular, Home Instead, the Rotary Club members, Brightview, Benchmark, Life Care Centers, and Bayeda are all organizations that have supported us at the local level in the Neponset Valley, and we're very, very grateful for their support and their teams that are walking with us. Our hope is that you will walk away tonight with a little bit more of, a little more thoughts and ideas of, what the event is going to look like on October 4th. Of course, if you have any ideas or any questions, this is also sort of a brainstorming session where we'd love to hear your ideas. So, looking at the agenda, our honorary chair, you may not know, is former Celtics player ML Carr, and we will be taping him next week to have a little bit more of an impression for the walk experience on October 4th. Tonight, we actually have him on a audio call. So the walk experience will discuss the tools and resources, and of course, we'll leave time for questions and answers.
So ML, why are you passionate about this cause? What's your story?
Well, there's two reasons. One is because my father, he had Alzheimer's for almost 11 years, which is a long time to be with that. Different stages, obviously it progressed as he got older. He ended up dying at 78. So back, a number of years ago, we had a huge fundraiser, golf tournament to raise money for the John Henry Alzheimer's and Asian Foundation. So it became very dear because I realized at the time that there were an enormous amount of people that were affected by this. As a matter of fact, the pressure is not necessarily on the person that's suffering from it, but the caregivers, and it's just an incredible thing. And no, I have a sister who is in early stages of Alzheimer's, so it's hit our family pretty hard over the years. Another reason why it's so important to get involved with this cause is because, as we know, 1 out of 3 people will end up having it because of aging and, people living longer. The other thing is the African American community has really, really been hitting hard.
So ML, who are you challenging today and why?
Right now I'm challenging everyone in the greater Boston area, in New England. I really would like to see everyone really, really take a leadership role, a national leadership role in this, because obviously with all of the healthcare facilities and different education institutions in New England and Boston. It's just, you know, we should be the ones that's leading this cause. You know, and that's a broad statement in terms of saying I want everyone, businesses, I want leaders, corporate leaders, I want political leaders, I want everyone to be a part of this, but I want every individual involved. And how do we do this? How do we do this? We announce what we are doing. We tell people, we word of mouth it. We do social media. We do everything you can to let people know that we are really going to attack this disease the way it's never been attacked before. Any way you can give, any way you can bring attention, please help me with this, because I'm passionate about it, because again, my father and my sister was affected, and therefore our families were affected. And I know there are a lot of you out there just like me that's suffering. Your mother, your grandmother, your father, your grandfather, your aunt, your cousins are suffering from this dreaded disease. I'm gonna thank you in advance, because I know that this will pull at the heartstrings of a lot of you who are suffering. My heart goes out to you in any way we.
So that was ML Carr, a very good motivational speaker. I think we all get very excited about his words, and all of you have your personal passion. I was saying to Sanine before I started the call that today I finally had some time to start looking at people's personal pages on the fundraising pages, and it was very inspiring to read the different stories. And I'm very touched by all of that, and I'm very passionate about this cause as a result of it. So when we look at the 2020 Walk to Alzheimer's, as you all know, this is a very different year. And I am with you in thinking about all the people that have lost family members during COVID-19. I'm just humbled to be here to talk to you about coming together as a family for this cause and celebrating it in some ways that makes everybody feel safe and comfortable. So it does look very different. Of course, our mission has not changed, but your health and safety are really our top priorities. So we're not having the in-person gathering at Foxborough this year, but instead we invite you to walk in small teams with friends and family. When sometimes people, if they're alone in their walk, please let us know, and we're happy to team you up with one of our team members, because we would never want you to feel like you're not with a family on that day, and we can certainly make that happen. But no matter where you're walking, we're all still raising funds for that one goal, a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementias. So we want to highlight some of the tools that are available and talk about what the day looks like. As I said, Walk is going to be everywhere. And if you log on October 4th, which is the Sunday this year, and I know in Neponset Valley it has historically been on a Saturday, so keep in mind that the Promise Garden will actually be planted at Patriot Stadium. It will be right in front of the stadium at Patriot Place, right in front of the stadium where you are. If for those of you who've been there before, it will be in the same place where usually people start to walk, and the strip of grass right next to it will be a beautiful Promise Garden set up for you to drive by and to come see the photo signs, the banners, and the flowers for that matter. I believe you've probably received the email where we invite you to write us a message that we can put for you on one of the flower petals. If you have not seen that message, just go on our event page or contact me, of course, and Sanine will put my email right in the chat, so you can always contact me as the manager and I can answer any of those questions. So on October 4th, we would invite you to log on to the main stage at 10 o'clock in the morning, or frankly, anytime that day, because it will be a recorded meeting as well. But at 10 o'clock, that's when we're really hoping to kick it off. And that can be found right on the event page again, and the address is right in here. But you're all familiar with that because that's where you registered as a walker. And that will be the opening ceremony and what we call also the Promise Garden ceremony. As a walk manager, we are just starting to see all the exciting things that are within that main stage. And I put a couple of the slides up here just to give you a little preview. But I keep comparing it to walking through a college when you do your tour, because you can kind of walk into every, like a virtual tour, you can walk into every area and meet up with people, and you can see the sponsors and such. There will be an electronic swag bag, things like that. We hope that after this opening ceremony, which will be about 20 minutes long, that you will take those flags that you've been sent in the mail, because when you registered as a walker, you got 5 flags in the mail. And we hope you take those flags, you'll dress up in your purple colors, and you will indeed walk wherever you are comfortable. And with that, imagine the awareness campaign that's going to kick off this year as opposed to any other year. In other years, people will come together one morning in one place and wearing all the colors. But this year, we are going to have thousands of people. I mean, there are 600 walks around the country. So we're going to have thousands of people just walking in every neighborhood with their purple clothes and their flags. So I'm personally really excited about the opportunity for raising awareness, simply because we're going to have the numbers and we're going to have that spread out mission. We hope that you will post pictures on our Neponset Valley Walk to End Alzheimer's Facebook page, and then you will tag the Alzheimer's Association, because that will mean it ends up on our chapter page as well. We are going to have contests for the best face mask, the best hair, the largest team, and the best costume. So this is all going to be a really fun and exciting event, and we're going to try to make it as personal as possible. The committee has been incredibly helpful, and I really cannot thank them enough. And we will present them at the opening stage as well, so you become familiar with their names. Some of you may have seen them in past years. Some people have come back, and there are some new members as well, and they've just been incredible. Tonight, unfortunately, the committee member could not help co-present, and that's why you're indeed stuck with me, but hopefully we'll get the message across. After you do your walk, we hope that you will drive to Patriot Place and come view the Promise Garden. We will be there between 10 and 2 for you to see this, and maybe you want to take a picture of your photo sign. If you did qualify for a photo sign, which means you raised more than $1,500, which is just incredible, and thank you for your support on that. If you did get a photo sign placed in the Promise Garden, you do not need to pull over and take the photo sign with you that day. We will actually, our committee members are making arrangements for us to get that dropped off at your house that day. So there does not have to be any worry about that at all. When we talk about the resources for the walk this year, it's actually really important to brief you on it, because everything is virtual and it's all a little bit kind of a step up in technology. So I'm sure you've seen your emails about the Walk to End Alzheimer's app. This is an important app to download, because this will deposit your checks instantly if you scan them. The Walk to End Alzheimer's app is just called that. So if you go to your Apple store, or the other store on the other phone, I don't know what that one's called, but you can just download it and also track your steps on that. So it's really fun if you work at a company, or maybe even in the neighborhood, to do a competition about, how many steps everybody's taking, or add them up, or things like that. This app also allows you to send text messages to friends and family, which is super easy and user-friendly. And I have guided more people that are literally over 80 years old this year to use this app. And people have been so happy with it and eager to use it. So it's a unique year. I already mentioned that you get those 5 flags. I got a little picture of them there in the bottom of the screen. But really, every pair of feet counts. I keep telling people, imagine if we go to the government and we say, we've got 20 million people walking with us this year. that's going to really count when we ask for funding for research. So it's not just our fundraising efforts, but it's also the awareness efforts that really count. So the more you can reach out to your network and recruit people to join your team, or to actually even start their own team if they're more comfortable with that, that is a really great way to expand our mission and to really reach more people and to bring in new family members. So next year, when we do hopefully get together in person, it will be a very large family. Our goal is to have 1,500 walkers registered right here for the Neponset Valley Walk. There's no cost for registering, as most of you know, and we hope that you will help us, that you will ask your hairdresser, your neighbors, maybe teachers, kids in school, high schools might want to get involved in this. So we hope you help us recruit more people. When I talk about the personal page and connecting it to the Facebook fundraiser, some of you have done this already, and it seems really kind of intimidating, but I promise you, if you try it, it's actually pretty easy. And if you're still intimidated, give me a call, because I'm happy to walk you through it any time of the day and night. So you have my cell phone number right on the website, and I challenge you to give me a call, and I'm happy to help. When you look at Adrienne Ross here, and she's just an amazing person. For those committee members who are on the call, I've come to know Adrienne, who was a chair last year of the committee and has since been hired by the Alzheimer's Association, because she's just all that. But it was not until today that I actually read, or yesterday, that I actually read her personal page. And although I thought I knew her story, reading it brought tears to my eyes. And it really is just a testament of how you can move people to action by putting a story on your personal page. And I challenge you all to read Adrienne Ross's page in the next few days, so you have a good example of what that looks like. When I read Adrienne's page, I wanted to donate to her, because I really think it matters, and she makes a very good point. So we invite you to really write your personal story on your personal page, and then to connect it to a Facebook fundraiser. It's important to know that you should do that through your personal page. If you start a Facebook fundraiser separate, right, in Facebook itself, the money that you raise actually goes to our Chicago headquarters, and it's very hard to trace the money to get it back credited to your team. So it's important to go to your personal page, and in there is actually a very easy link that says, do you want to connect this to your Facebook? And then you say yes. Again, if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to call me. So we challenge each of you to raise $150 to earn your own Lead the Way to First Survivor t-shirt. And that has been reached by already 150 walkers in the Neponset Valley. It was too many to really list them here, but we do have 30 champions who raised over $500, and 10 grand champions, and even 4 elite grand champions. And they have raised over $2,500. Dimfna Hurley, Leslie Murphy, Jay Mirza, and Megan Murphy. And we're really, really grateful to everybody. I didn't have time to read the names of, but frankly, we're grateful to everybody who puts the effort into registering and walking. So thank you for all your work. You know, what is next is the question. How do we go from here, and how do we take action? I would say stay tuned for upcoming events. I'm sure you'll receive a lot of emails from us, but that's really just to remind you how important this mission is. And we're all so busy. We have so many things going on. Sometimes it really does take 4 emails to get action. So please try to earn all those badges of becoming that grand champion if you can. You can't count the amount of times that I hear from our even committee members saying, gosh, I send out my emails to my network, and before you knew it, you know, people were donating. And it's almost like we are surprised ourselves, but people really do care, and we're all starting to feel like we want to really rally around something positive and meaningful. I would also add to join our Neponset Valley Walk to End Alzheimer's Facebook group. It's super easy to find, just like it says right there. And if you join that, you will get the easiest updates. That's where we try to keep everybody informed of even the resources and other educational programs, because our program services, as you know, has fantastic resources besides our 24/7 support line. And that's usually where I put it on. So ask us, please, your walk questions. And the other one thing I wanted to talk about was that as a local committee, we are trying to put together a team video. It occurred to me as a new manager and a newbie to the whole walk that when I went to the walk last year, I didn't understand all the different teams. I didn't remember them. I didn't really, I just saw an ocean of people, very passionate. So if we can get a video together that looks a little bit like this, let's see if we can get this started.
Meet the team called Maria's Walk. Our mother was the greatest mother ever. Her children were always first, and when the grandchildren came along, we were put on the back burner, and they came first. She was always willing and able to help all of us out when we needed her. And we did the same when she needed us during her illness. We miss her every day.
My name is Walter Frankel, and my team name is Walt to End Alls. The team is in memory of my father, Sherman Frankel. My dad was a physics professor at the University of Pennsylvania for 60 years. During the war, my father worked on early radar systems at the MIT Radiation Lab. He spent a majority of his career working to prevent accidental launch of nuclear weapons by petitioning government to install safety systems known as permissive action links on nuclear weapons. He also did his own statistical analysis on FDA data on drug efficacy and was published in journals of medicine with proof that Proscar, the popular prostate drug, the drug name is finasteride, was ineffective and could have terrible side effects. One of the side effects was growing hair, so it was remarketed as Propecia. A law group recently filed a class action lawsuit against Merck, as another one of the side effects is impotency.
My name is Adrienne Ross, and I am the team captain of Team Every Mile a Memory. We got our team name from a country song by Dierks Bentley, which is just a song I love, but I also love the play on words that it presents, that every mile we walk is another memory we can save as we fight to end Alzheimer's disease. Our team is made up of over 20 family members and friends, many of whom have been participating in the walk since the start. We formed as a team in 2009 after my dad, Joel, was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease just months after his 50th birthday. Every year we strive to be one of the top fundraising teams in his honor and have raised cumulatively over $100,000 since then. My dad lost his battle a year and a half ago at the age of 60, so we now walk in his memory. This fight is more important to me than ever before so that no other family has to lose a loved one to this disease.
Wow, that's very powerful to me. I don't know about all of you, but it speaks for every team, and our committee has offered to put this together, so I hope all of you will join in that effort and either send us a picture with a paragraph so we can put it in there, or if you choose so, send us a voice memo with a picture and we can attach it to this video. On that day, we will simply have it uploaded to YouTube, and that movie will be viewable for anybody. And it might be really nice for families in the assisted living facilities to watch that, because most of them cannot go out to walk that day. So that's really what this is all about. And this is the end of my little spiel. It's 7:25. I want to make sure I open it up and leave time for questions for all of you. So I don't know if there are any questions in the chat yet, Sanine. Are there, or are we? You are on mute. You're still on mute.
Okay,
Yep,
got it.
here we are.
Okay, sorry about that. So
okay.
Heather asked a question, how do you become a sponsor?
How do you become a sponsor? Well, that's very easy. You email me and I can send you the sponsor package. And the Neponset Valley is a walk that starts at the bronze level, and I can talk to you about the different benefits that you're looking for and how we can best showcase you. I actually personally think that the sponsorship benefits this year, believe it or not, are better than any other year because we worked so hard to make sponsors feel like this was really worth their time and money. Obviously, everybody has been struggling money-wise and organizations as well, but we're really grateful for their support, and a lot of them had already signed up before COVID-19 really kicked in. So those early sponsors still needed their benefits. So I think the association did a really good job of shaping that and making it benefits that matter. So Heather, I would appreciate if you can send me an email. And Heather, what's your last name? Because then I can also reach out to you.
It's Payne, P-A-Y-N-E.
Perfect. So why don't we touch base tomorrow, and I can go over that with you so I can understand what you're looking for. But yes, I appreciate your question, because anybody who's listening in or who will listen to this recording later that's interested in sponsorship, we would love to have you. And for that matter, if you're recruiting walkers, make sure you also tell, a car dealer, for example. I mean, we have great benefits that can be sponsored. The Promise Garden can be sponsored. The kids tent, which we will have activities for kids to do virtually, but we will have them. So the banners at the Promise Garden are still going to have logos and listings on it. So that will be really an important feature as well.
Perfect.
Did that
Thank
answer
you
your
so
question?
much.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, Sinead?
Yes. Yes. So we have another question from Crystal. She asked, how do you get the flowers? Can you get bundles of flowers? I work at one of the benchmark facilities and would love our harbor residents to each have one for our virtual walk.
So I love that question, and I actually have been working with individuals to make something happen. As you can imagine, we can't really provide and you mean the flowers that we had in previous years. We can't really ship them very easy because they're so long. That's why they switched to the little flags. However, and I keep saying this in a joking way, but they let me in the warehouse one day, and I took 2 of our Honda Pilots and I filled them up with a lot of the boxes. So I do have extra flowers here in my garage, and I have been, able to just give people some flowers when we need to. So I'd be happy to help you out for your location and see if we can get you enough flowers to have that bundle. So again, just contact me separate if you don't mind tomorrow, and we'll work that out.
And Crystal actually had a follow-up question.
Sure.
She said she received her team captain shirt and her pin, but she didn't receive any flags. Do you know when those are?
Yes, the flags, that's a very good question. The flags were shipped out as the walks were happening. So remember that the timeline with COVID-19 was sort of, we were all in a waiting pattern until the decision was made. And then it was only a month away from, like, some of the walks in the country in Portland, Oregon have already taken place. So those flags had to be sent out first. We were told 5 weeks before the walk, the flags will definitely be out. You should have them any day. If you don't have them by the end of the week, please contact me directly, and I will make sure to get you some backup. Because I should add that there has also been some issues with the post office. So some of the deliveries, just in general, of shipping things have been somewhat delayed. So don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll make it happen.
One other item, Crystal also mentioned that she has an SUV so she can pick up the flowers if you connect with her.
That would be super awesome, because I say that, but I also received yesterday the brochures and the posters, and I will get yard signs by the middle of next week. So I will also be driving around a lot to, start going to a Starbucks and putting it in there, or my committee members who always offer to distribute these as well. So I think we'll be busy bees, but either way, we'll get you what you need.
Okay, and that was all the questions that were in the chat, the group
It-
chat.
It might be helpful since Judy was also on the call, and when Judy Briss is a great committee member as well, and she's in charge of the logistics this year, and she's offered to help that if anybody would like to have a message written on the flower petal that we will plant in the Promise Garden, although you can't really get out and pick it up, but it is nice to have it as part of the display, or a picture for that matter. We had an email for you to send it to. That email is on our website as well, on the event page, but there is a spelling mistake in it. And so I will change that spelling mistake right after this meeting. It has walk with 2 A's. So I thought it was part of Judy's email address at the time, so I never picked up on that. But if Judy could put her email, that correct email, in the chat right now, that might be helpful for people to see as well. Or maybe Judy, if you could just say it out loud so it's also on the recording, that would be great.
I have to look it up because it's a separate
Oh,
email address. So just give me a
okay.
minute while I do that. So go on
Sure.
to something else and then I'll
Yep.
post it.
So did anybody else have any questions at this point about the things that I've gone through? And so the video that I was talking about, the team video, at this point, you can just send a voice memo and the photo to me directly, and my email is all over the website. If you will also receive another email specifically, especially if you're a team captain, because we're of course going to ask the team captain to take the lead on this. I think that's really what we wanted to cover. You know, there's one other idea that has been floating with the committee, which was to come back at the end of the day, maybe at 7 o'clock at night, to sort of have a virtual cocktail party. And I wanted to find out what the callers tonight think of that, and sort of as a poll, understand, is that something you would come back to? I did this with the South Coast Walk as well, where I'm a manager, and I was really surprised, but everybody said, oh no, absolutely, we'd come back for that. They thought it was a lot of fun and post pictures in this kind of a setting. So let us know. Maybe you can put in the chat. There's 12 participants on the call right now that could give their opinion on that, and that might be very helpful for us to know if that's worth your time and effort to come back at 7 o'clock. And then we were actually floating around recipes for purple cocktails for the night. So things like that we could, and we could do the prizes. We could reward the prizes that night for best hairdo and best costume and things like that. So I don't know if Sinine has any responses, but that would be nice to hear.
Yes, so it looks like 3 people so far said, love it, love that idea. I think that's awesome.
Well, I think 3 is enough. 3 makes a party.
Another one just came in. Yes, I would come at 7 if it was, depending on what. Sounds fun. Yep, so it looks like 5 now.
All right, and that would be a gathering where, of course, we can all see each other, so it's not like I'm doing a presentation. And you know, as I said, Walter, who's not on the call, because he was going to co-present, but he's really the champion at this kind of Zoom calls. So I would most likely, and he's the vice chair, I would most likely ask him to host this and to be that whole moderator, because he's really much better at it than I am.
And so there was another question, would this roundup or whatever after party be the evening of the walk?
Yes, thank you for asking. I would suggest we do that indeed on October 4th, that night. And this is really my cue tonight. And our committee meets, of course, all the time right now, but if this sounds like a good idea to even 5 or 10 people, then it's worth coming together. So with that, we will plan ahead and we will make sure all the walkers and team captains know about this 7 o'clock gathering at night, and people can just call in if they feel like it. So we'll just make it an open invite, but then all of you are warned about it, and we'll expect you to join at 7 o'clock at night with some good pictures. That walk app is going to be your key guide that day. So the Walk app is going to allow you to post pictures, and at night we'll come back together and, you know, you can repost some of those pictures while we're on the call. So that'll be fun. So really the question is, are you ready to lace up and walk? I hope you will join our Walk to End Alzheimer's Facebook group so we can stay in touch really well. I hope I answered all the questions. Please let me know if anything comes up or anybody that, you know, is in your network that would like to ask a question. Anybody, any brainstorming ideas or thoughts that I should not forget about?
Astrid, it's Judy. I did put the email address in the chat.
Thank you so much.
jbandalzwalk@gmail.com. So if anyone's interested and they want their flower displayed at the Promise Garden, just let me know what color. If you want a message on it, and if you want a picture, send the picture. There's a template that we have. Is it on the site, Astrid?
Yes, I'm going to change that one letter on the site as well.
Yeah, so
Yep.
it fits on the petal. So
yep.
Yep. So just send something to that address.
Perfect. And like I said, the other thing, if you have any interest in brochures or yard signs or posters, just shoot me an email and we'll get them to you. Or thank you for offering to come pick them up. I live in Medfield, so you know it's an easy street to drive by if anybody wants more stuff. Thank you. And no, that counts for pins and pens and things like that too. I've got some stuff like that, bracelets, anything you need. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time and your support. And let's go out and make this happen. What do we say? Yay, yay. Thank you.